All right, here we go. Justice, or as Gerald Celente likes to say, just us. Because if this was you or me, we'd be in deep trouble. But if it's part of the deep state and the hiding and the fraud and the corruption, then we just give someone a little baby, not even a slap on the wrist. We'll give them immunity and a little, in this case, filing a false mortgage refinance report. No, these guys were responsible for spying on the House of Representatives. How do you pronounce your last name? Awan brothers, Imran Awan. Hang on, I gotta get this out of my damn throat. Stand by. And there used to be, when I was an auto mechanic way back in the day. We had a neighbor who I think's now passed away. His name was Randy Thompson. Thompson Radiators, and he was literally Boss Hog. Looked like Boss Hog, walked like Boss Hog, and kind of sounded like Boss Hog. And when he would clear his throat, I'm gonna give you one. Ready? And we'd be at a restaurant. Sometimes, every now and then, we'd go eat lunch with him. And when he would break out into one of those, the whole restaurant, you'd see people like, what the? And he'd just keep talking. Yeah, and I caught this 6-pound bass, and Randy Thompson. So, I gotta make you laugh, give you a little chuckle before I piss you off with this news. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing to hide here. No, nothing at all. And they're going to try and tell you here in a minute, oh, well, these guys were potentially spying on a few, whatever House the Democrats. Well, hold on. The Democrats or the entire House, which would include the Republicans. And maybe, my opinion, maybe this is about spying on the Republicans, not so much the Democrats. But just, you're going to love this. I mean, not really. You're actually going to hate this, but you're going to love this. Because you're going to be like, remember George Bush Jr., Dodo Bird Bush? The old lady in the audience? I haven't reminded you of this in a long time. I've got to work 3 jobs just to make ends meet. She should be like retired. I've got to wait. And he's like, truly American. Truly American. Yeah, next question, please. That's the American spirit. Work 3 jobs. Never say never. Yeah, good. Truly American. No, you idiot. She's saying, I'm old, I should be retired, and I'm working 3 jobs, and I can't make ends meet. But that saying, truly American, truly American. That's what I have to say about this, while the deep state still has people in place. It is infested. Washington, D.C. specifically is infested. Like a house full of silver goldman roaches. That poor guy just can't get a break, by the way. Silver Goldman. His channels are being banned left and right. Imran, that's the Zero Hedge. Awan gets sweetheart plea deal. Department of Justice won't prosecute alleged spy ring, cyber crimes. The Department of Justice won't prosecute him. A former IT, Mr. Imran Awan, a former IT administrator for Representative Debbie Wasserman Schultz, and dozens of other Democrats for allegations of cyber security breaches, theft, and potential espionage as part of a plea arrangement with 1 count of unrelated bank fraud. Plea deal? You're only getting hit for this little bank fraud, and you can wait for you to hear the bank fraud. Oh, it's devastating. Oh. He withdrew. First of all, after the entry of your client's plea of guilty, and again, listen carefully. The judge who put her in there, some interesting connections the judge has. Get ready. We're going to get to that. After the entry of your client's plea of guilty to the offense identified in paragraph 1 above, your client will not be charged with any nonviolent criminal offense in violation of federal or District of Columbia law, which was committed within the District of Columbia by your client prior to the execution of this agreement. Awan withdrew hundreds of thousands of dollars for after lying on a mortgage application and pretending to have a medical emergency that allowed him to drain his wife's retirement account, and then wired a large sum of money to Pakistan back in January 2017. And then there's a little tweet from Alex Papas. Mamas and the Papas? No, Alex Papas. Ex-IT, Democrat IT, pleads guilty to loan application fraud in federal court as part of a plea agreement. Prosecutors dropped charges against his wife. Prosecutors say they investigate allegations of improper behavior in Awan's Congress role, but they'll be bringing no charges. Potential espionage. Couldn't find anything. Give him a plea deal. Breaking. I'm at the Lee Stranahan. Another tweet. I'm at the federal courthouse, and it seems that Imran Awan's plea deal says that he cannot be charged with any previous nonviolent crime. So let's look at that. Let's look at what that charges, because I didn't actually catch that. After the entry of your client's plea of guilty to the offense identified in paragraph 1 above, your client will not be charged with any nonviolent criminal offense in violation of federal or District of Columbia law, which was committed within the District of Columbia by your client prior to the execution of this agreement. So they won't be charged with any nonviolent criminal offense prior to the execution of this agreement. That's interesting. It almost sounds like it. You got a get out of jail card for free, get out of jail free card. I guess like I just stuttered and said, for free. Donald Trump replies, our Justice Department must not let Awan and Debbie Wasserman Schultz off the hook. The Democratic IT scandal is a key to much of the corruption we see today. They want to make a plea deal to hide what was on their server. Where is the server? Really bad, says Donald Trump. Server, emergency, server. And then Lou Dobbs. You know Lou Dobbs. What the Dems did here is treason. They allowed the U.S. to be continuously hacked by these bad guys so they could spin the phony real Donald Trump Russia narrative. He's right. Nick Short. Despite the Inspector General's allegation that Awan made unauthorized access to House data, Debbie Wasserman Schultz protects him. Well, of course, because if I don't protect him, I'm screwed. You know how that works. After IG made his claims, server that contained evidence was physically stolen. Yet Debbie Wasserman Schultz kept paying Awan as her IT aide, even though he was banned from the network. Awan and several family members work for Representative Debbie Wasserman Schultz, along with 20% of House Democrats as IT staffers who held, as the House Inspector General called it, the keys to the kingdom when it came to accessing confidential information on congressional computer systems. And while ample evidence of potential crimes were found by the House Inspector General, the Department of Justice says they found no evidence of wrongdoing. The DOJ said it, basically found no evidence that Imran illegally removed House data from the House network or from the House members' offices, stole the House Democratic Caucus server, stole or destroyed House information technology equipment, or improperly accessed or transferred government information. That statement appears to take issue, without explaining how, with the findings of the House's Nancy Pelosi appointed Inspector General, its top law enforcement official, the Sergeant at Arms, and the statements of multiple Democratic aides. In September 2016, the House of Inspector General gave House leaders a presentation that alleged that Alvi Imran, brothers Abid Awan and Jamal Awan, and a friend were logging into the servers of members who had previously fired them and funneled data off the network, or fired him and funneled data off the network. It said evidence suggests steps are being taken to conceal their activity, and that the behavior mirrored a classic method for insiders to exfiltrate data from an organization. Server logs show, it says, that Awan family members made unauthorized access to congressional servers in violation of House rules by logging into the servers of members who they did not work for. And then Technofog tweets, we're supposed to believe that Awan wired hundreds of thousands of dollars to Pakistan, tried to flee the country, was kept on Debbie Wasserman Schultz's payroll, all for the no jail offense of lying on a home equity application. Guys, you couldn't make this stuff up. Again, if you did even a sliver of this, you'd be in prison. Justice or just us? But again, it gets a little bit better. Awan was arrested at Dulles Airport while attempting to flee the country one day after reports emerged that FBI had seized a number of smashed hard drives and other computer equipment from his residence. While only charged with bank fraud, there is ample evidence that the Awans were spying on members of Congress through their access to highly sensitive information on computers, servers, and other electronic devices belonging to members of Congress. And again, Lee Stranahan, repeat, there has been no investigation of the serious allegations about him. No proof at all, and we know a number of key people have never even been spoken to by investigators. Luke Rosiak of the Daily Caller has compiled the most comprehensive coverage of this situation from start to finish and outlines exactly why the Awan's conduct warranted serious inquiry. He says on February 3rd, 2017, Paul Irving, the House top law enforcement officer, wrote in a letter to the Committee on House Administration that soon after it became evident as soon as it became evidence that the server went missing. The letter continued, based upon the evidence gathered to this point, we have concluded the employees are an ongoing and serious risk to the House of Representatives, possibly threatening the integrity of our information systems. Imran, Abid, Jamal, Alvi, and a friend were banned from the House network the same day Kiko sent the letter. The alleged wrongdoing consists of two separate issues. The first was the cybersecurity issues. In an April 2018 hearing spurred by the Awan case, Chief Administration Officer Phil Kiko testified, quote, the bookend to the House threat is the insider threat. Tremendous efforts are dedicated to protecting the House against these outside threats. However, these efforts are undermined when these employees do not adhere to and thumb their nose at our information security policy. And that's a risk, in my opinion, we cannot afford, end quote. The second issue was suspected theft scheme. Wendy Anderson, a former chief of staff for Representative Yvette Clarke, told House investigators she believed Abid was working with ex-Clarke aide Shelley Davis to steal equipment and described coming in on a Saturday to find many pieces of equipment, including iPods and Apple TVs, that it looked like Christmas. Meanwhile, as we noted in June, the judge in the Awan case, Tanya Chutkan, was appointed to the D.C. U.S. District Court by none other than President Barack Obama on June 5th, 2014, after Chutkan had contributed to him for years. Let me give you campaign contributions, and now you make me a nice little sweetheart deal in the court system, and then anything that comes up, I just look the other way. No charges filed. I'll give you the most minimal mortgage application fraud. Oh. Espionage. Nah, we're going with mortgage application fraud. Prior to her appointment to the district court, she was a partner at law firm Boyce, Schiller, and Flexner, or BSF, where she represented scandal-plagued biotechnology company Theranos, which hired Fusion GPS to threaten the news media. Because of this, Chutkan had to recuse herself on 2 cases involving Fusion GPS. You know, that Fusion GPS, Trump dossier Fusion GPS. Meanwhile, BSF attorney and crisis management expert Karen Dunn, who prepped Hillary Clinton for debates and served as associate White House counsel to Obama, represents Hillary Clinton aide, currently Huma Abedin, currently represents her. Another BSF attorney, Don Smalls, not related to Biggie Smalls, oh no, not Biggie, was John Podesta's assistant while he was Obama's chief of staff. And if you still had doubts over their politics, BSF also republished an article critical of Donald Trump in their news and events section. In short, the judge in the Awan case appointed by Obama after years of contributing to him, was a partner at a very Clinton-friendly law firm. It should also be noted that Obama appointed Chutkan's husband, Peter Krothammer, to the D.C. Superior Court in 2011. You see, you're starting to see how all this works? You don't get to vote for these judges. They're appointed. I've been saying this since I've woken up years ago, a million times on YouTube. It doesn't matter because they pick the people they want, so, I'll get rid of that president. I got another one in there. Who's part of the same club anyways. They've got all their appointees in there. No problem. I mean, can Donald Trump fire a judge? No, he can't. He can clean house at the State Department, the DOJ, the FBI, even the CIA, NSA. He can clean house over there, but how does he get rid of a judge? He can't just fire a judge like that. It's a district judge. It's not, it's not a federal thing anyways, right? See how that works? The left has, of course, seized upon the plea deal to suggest that there was no wrongdoing. William Craddock. Imagine being so dumb that you think a plea deal implies the defendant wasn't really guilty of the other charges, of course, because Jessica Snyder says, the case that tantalized conspiracy theorists and the president is over with this plea deal, and the government now admits there was never anything to the conspiracy hype. CNN leaked. No, nothing. There's nothing to see here. That's the end of that story. Drain this flipping swamp. This is disgusting. Take care.